Copenhagen, summer 2018. Less than a week until Pride. The offices of the main national LGBT interest group are vandalized during the weekend when no one is at work. Swastikas and hateful messages, threats and explicit images of violence are left everywhere. The police are incredibly worried about what is going to happen and are considering asking for Pride to be cancelled entirely. Politicians from a broad spectrum condemn the violence and threats and ask that the event go forward as planned. Hate and bigotry hangs thick in the air. Meanwhile, a pair of swords are leaned against a rock. They haven't been moved in a very long time, as evidenced by the fact that flowers and wreaths of ivy are growing up along the blades. Nonetheless, the scabbards look in good repair. The pommels are shaped as armoured arms grasping hammers. In the background, a very, very heavy breathing from enormous bellow-like lungs can be heard. Meanwhile, in the basement of a cafe in Meat City, the motley is facing a dilemma. Will they choose honor or violence? Both have their clear merits in the situations, but there are unanswered questions, and with an opportunity to get some answers, will they choose to spare a dangerous foe to gain them or not? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Copenhagen Dreaming. Before we get to the recap, I have a brief message here to our listeners where I wish to apologize for all the messes that we've had recently with our upload schedule. We are trying to bring things back into order. I don't know how things got so messed up, but hopefully it'll be all right going forward. And on that note, Chris, could you give us a recap from last time?
Yes. Our the dear fellow who is in charge of running the channel blames sorcery for the incidents regarding mishaps in the schedule, but you never know. I mean, if a wizard did it, a wizard did it. So, last time on Copenhagen Dreaming, we decided to Motley decided to investigate the rest of Reinhardt's Motley. To see if we could find out more about whether they'd been affected by how they'd been affected by the events of Julian's murder. We started by going to see about Cecil, and she wasn't there, and we kind of sort of broke in-ish, maybe. And we quickly discovered that there were multiple things wrong. Her dog, her chimerical dog, was there, and was obviously very distressed. But otherwise, yeah, the point was that Cecil hadn't been home for quite a while. He mentioned that there was a strange lady dressed in black that had appeared and had been giving her orders, and Cecil got very weird whenever the lady appeared there. We suspect that the lady is, in fact, the lady, as in, the giant evil black dragon. I mean, if she can do what she's done, I mean, turning into a vaguely human form isn't necessarily beyond her. But she wasn't there. She hadn't been home in days, so some of us decided to go to Cecil's salon to see if we could find out any information there, while the rest decided to head to go and see Sarah. And at the very least to drop off Cecil's dog, is it Bula? Bula, yes. Again, pronunciation of Danish versions of words and Danish words is going to be one of my weaknesses, so bear with me. So yeah, there was that sort of things, and the point is that Cecil had listed in her schedule that she was meant to be seeing Sarah today, but Sarah had no idea that this was the case, apparently. And the point was that she also wondered why it was that Julian had been the target in the first place, and we speculated on that for a while. The suggestion was that maybe Julian had found something out about the lady or the Shadow Court that they hadn't wanted him to know, and that it had been convenient to silence him and then use that to create the chaos that they had, maybe. We also learned that that Julian was of House Dougal, which were infamously the house responsible for a lot of bloodshed in the Resurgence War against the commoners. So there might have also been a personal angle in regards to his murder. Meanwhile, at the salon, we discovered that very little apart from a crate of shampoo, which, corresponding with an email we'd read at Cecil's apartment regarding shampoo, we discovered basically that, as far as we could tell, hair care products are part of her geas, which is how the lady can control her. After establishing all of this, we decided to try and basically we decided to go and find her. We decided to go and try to see if we could actually find her signature somewhere in Copenhagen. And after much searching, we entered into Meat City, obviously where prominent member of the Shadow Court Crimson sort of rules. We found this restaurant / burger joint that she had gone into apparently, and in order to get in there and do what we needed to do, we had Rattigan with us, who decided to have the time of his life, causing a ruckus inside the restaurant and getting everyone to evacuate in a hurry.
Work.
Yes, there's actually something like that appeared in the news quite recently. I should point out, dating this episode slightly, that there was an incident like that at a restaurant somewhere in London, I think.
It wasn't me.
Well, the point is that it obviously it cost the restaurant quite a lot of money in terms of their reputation, basically, and clean up and things. But anyway, we made our way in. We dodged people coming to discover what the ruckus was about. We made our way through a door, which was, as we learned, chimerical. And we ended up in this weird, horrible-smelling metallic place, and made our way down into essentially an abattoir filled with various shanks of meat. One of these shanks of meat turned out to be Cecil, alive, but barely, and clearly in a lot of pain. In getting her down, she became conscious again and made a lot of noise, and we were accosted by two separate redcaps, the aforementioned Crimson and also Bloody Alice. So, kind of pressed for time and options, most of us decided to fight against these two redcaps to hold them off, while some of us, Ganesha tried to heal Cecil as best he could. I'm trying to remember, was it Sunny or someone was going to try and pick up Cecil and get her out of there, but then Crimson basically set fire to everyone, which obviously meant picking her up would have burnt her to death. So yeah, we had to improvise. We fought very well, and we actually succeeded in chimerically killing Crimson. So his sort of fey part of him is dead, as well for a while anyway. It can always be brought back. But his the human side of him, or the human sort of body he was inhabiting, is still alive, and the person within it is still there. So eventually, this poor man is going to wake up in a abattoir covered in blood, and is probably going to have a rather poor day. In the meantime, Bloody Alice decided, having seen him go down, to surrender, to basically throw down her weapons and surrender to us. And so we found ourselves at this impasse after this that you mentioned, Storyteller, where she has surrendered, and we are kind of honor bound by courtly tradition to accept a surrender, but it has been made clear that at least one of us, Sunny, is not that interested in either isn't interested in adhering to courtly etiquette, or just doesn't know about it, because he is prepared to continue wailing on Bloody Alice until she is either dead or as bloody and beaten as Cecil was. So we can either let Sunny do that, or we can try and stop him.
Well, first off, none of the above. He's just very pissed at her.
In any case, that is in fact where we start.
Yep.
So,
in that case, Jonas holds out an arm in front of Sunny and says, "Don't. We still need her for questioning."
And we need someone to blame.
not quite what we were going for.
Well, if you want Thomas off completely, we need someone to blame, and she can point the finger at whomever's behind all of this, not only coming from a young lovely as herself.
Right. Does Sunny react?
I'm considering.
Okay. Well, Jonas looks at him, awaiting some sort of response.
Yeah, the thing is, he's not, either reacting or not, because he was flinging himself at her when we stopped last time. So holding out an arm will probably not be enough.
In that case, Jonas probably gets in the way.
Yeah, that might be enough. I'm just considering how angry is he versus how much will take to get through to him at the moment. And I'm considering, well, he isn't a werewolf, so you don't have to actually knock him out to stop him.
Luckily,
if he'd been a werewolf, I don't think you could have knocked him out.
Not with the amount of stamina he has now.
So
getting in the way would probably stop him, yeah.
in that case, that's what Jonas does.
Doesn't
And then-
make him look happy, and he's not speaking.
Sonny, could you help Sissel, please?
I'm still on fire.
Yeah, you all take one more point of aggravated damage,
hear
and then
you.
it stops. Oh, sorry. You all take one more point of aggravated damage, and then the fire stops.
yes,
Yeah, basically, we were still on fire until it were Crimson's turn again.
Yep.
but Crimson is
Also, ow!
Oh, yeah.
indisposed.
Crimson is dead, but his magic didn't stop magically because of it.
I know.
Yeah, so as the fire dies out, Jonas looks to first to Sonny and says, "Please, could you help Sissel? You're strong enough to carry her." And
Yeah.
then he looks to Jasmine and August and says, "Could you two guard her? And if she tries anything, Jasmine, don't hesitate to strike her."
Understood.
How about him? We need to get him to a hospital.
Who?
Crimson,
Yeah.
the ex-Fae.
Is he actually hurt?
Yeah, he is. The last levels of damage he took were chimerical, but up to that he took physical damage. So he's actually quite badly hurt.
Although he took a hoof to the face and,
I'm thinking throwing him in the back rooms of the restaurant we were in, only on our way out, hoping that some poor sap will find him.
with the way the world has seemed so far, I wouldn't, bet on someone actually picking him up and helping him. Calling 911 would be a good idea.
Well, since the big rat thing in the restaurant, there will be someone there.
This is true.
Speaking of someone, I'm really hoping Felicia shows up soon because she'll know what to do better than I do.
Thing is, you called Felicia pretty much right before you went down here, and she has to get, not halfway across town, but there is some distance. She's probably going to be here in maybe 20 minutes or something like that.
Not sure we can wait that long.
Why not?
Because then people will start showing up to check on the rat situation.
Yeah, but you have to remember that only Faye can go in here.
Yeah,
We don't
maybe
know
we
what
should
kind of fae would show up to check on the situation.
Oh, that is true.
Agreed. We don't know how much of the Shadow Court knows about this place. And I don't particularly fancy finding out.
I should mention my comments were out of character.
Oh, okay.
Is there some way that we can sort of get cloaked and then move us and her and Sissel somewhere until we figure out what to do? Because I don't think it's a good idea to bring it directly to court.
I mean, I can use magic to hide a person, but I don't know if I can hide all of us.
But wouldn't it be enough to hide her? When we move her? Or would it be smarter to hide Sissel? Because she would draw a lot of attention in her state.
That reminds me, how is it coming along, Ganesha?
I I am getting through this, but it is taking some time and it is very tiring.
Is there anything we can do to help you, Ganesha?
Feed me.
He needs glamour.
Oh. I think Sunny goes over and checks on her. I can try taking over.
She is definitely out of any, she's not in mortal danger anymore. She will heal up, but it's probably about as much as Ganesha can do what he has done by now. He's given her back some health. But she will need, rest and recovery and so on.
Yeah. Question.
Yeah.
How is it bunks works?
Bunks work by basically you say, I want to use this power on that person or on that item, or you basically just describe what it is you want to do. And then you say, I'm going to do something that has to do with the art that you're using. So for example, if you're using the art called legerdemain, which is kind of about trickery and so on, then you might do a quick card trick with to someone standing by, or flick a coin across your wrists or your knuckles, rather your wrists, nice, across your knuckles, something that has to do with sleight of hand and trickery and so on, because that is related to that power. And then if you do something like that, I'll lower the difficulty, because you're basically breaking the monotony of real life. You're breaking through the barrier of banality. Otherwise, all uses of all arts and realms are difficulty 8, but you can lower it by doing this.
Okay. In that case, I want to use Spring, the Well of Life, on myself as the Well of Life, as I carry this very hurt girl.
Okay. You want to do bunk?
And the bunk I'm gonna do is rip off the rest of my shirt.
Yep.
Walk directly up to Jasmine, hold both her hands, look into her eyes. You have the sexiest smile.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 2. I'm gonna lower it by 2 for that, so your difficulty is 6.
Mm-hmm.
And that is then the art and the realm.
Yep.
In the district? Okay. Let's just hope it works.
How does Jasmine react?
I think we'll see that in a moment.
Yeah, well, let's find out how.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
That's excellent. Yeah. You give her back.
So it works for 2 hours, and then I go over and pick her up, basically.
Yeah.
And the idea is, it says so right around here. Spending an extended amount of time near the Well of Life can also heal infections, counteract poisons, and reduce the severity of diseases.
Yeah.
Healing effects of this, blah blah blah. If consuming all or part of the focus cantrip restores all bashing and lethal damage. Also heals 1 aggravated damage.
Yeah.
So if she is in my arm, she'll heal all bashing and lethal and 1 aggravated.
That should hopefully help her.
That does. It puts her back on to health. What it has done to her emotionally and mentally, however, is a completely different matter. But she's not certain.
Yeah. I can fix her physically.
Yeah.
Mentally, she'll have to work on. Maybe with a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
That would kill her.
Yeah. So banal.
Yep.
Shame. They're just trying to help people. Oh well, so...
Well, he does that, and then he goes over and picks her up.
Yeah. Jasmine is a little bit, it's quite surprised, obviously. Point is that she's a little bit flustered, not just because of the whole, the sexiest eyes thing, but also... She's meant to be guarding.
Smile.
She's meant to be guarding Alice, and so she's kind of, and she has to basically take a moment to refocus herself. Get back to holding her sword in a sort of defensive way to make sure that Alice isn't going anywhere.
So basically, you said she had the sexiest smile. Am I correct?
Smile.
Yeah.
Smile.
Yeah.
But she's not smiling, as far as I can tell.
Not at the moment.
Alice just grins from down at the ground and goes, "Thank you."
Do we ignore her, or does anyone want to actually respond to her?
Well, Sonny weren't talking to her, so he
No.
doesn't know why she's thanking him.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he were looking directly in Jasmine's eyes, so you know.
All right, fine. So
She's just taunting you.
she's just talking.
Yeah,
Fine.
it's not working anymore. Sonny isn't allowed to kill her, so he has no interest in her at the moment.
All right, we need to figure out a way to get out of here without attracting too much attention. Jonas says and leans against a wall because he's clearly quite hurt.
How about a cap?
First and foremost, I need to remind you, because you might have forgotten, that there's the door that over by the stairs that you came down, but there's also the door down on this level that they came through.
Well,
Yeah, we could try that door. When we get out, we can try and
no
find
idea
it.
where we are right now.
Jasmine will look to
Oh,
Bloody Alice.
sorry. Where you are right now is you are in a cafe, or rather under a cafe in Meat City.
Yeah, I know, but we walked through this portal thing
Yes,
in here, so actually we don't know where we are.
that's a good point. You could be somewhere completely different.
We could be at Amat right now.
So,
Yep.
Jasmine would like to say to Bloody Alice, where does that other door lead? Where did you come from?
That in there's the freehold. So, I guess that's yours by conquest or something. Let's see you try to hold on to it. Kids.
No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for the property market yet. So, maybe not that way then. This second point is made to the motley.
So, top side and in a cab and away?
I think we'll have a hard time explaining this to a cab driver.
You could hide her, right? Also, you're pretty hurt yourself.
Yeah, I am. It might make it difficult to do anything if I'm completely honest.
We could go in two groups. Cecil and whoever this is, she looks towards the Fane, formerly known as Crimson. Just get them out of here somewhere and get him medical attention and get Cecil somewhere safe, and then the rest of us can guard Alice here until backup arrives.
That's kind of risky if that's their freehold.
I think no matter what, we need to go out the way we came.
Yeah, just have to face the fact that we're going to have to be a little conspicuous.
Yeah, but maybe we went in the back, so maybe there's a back door.
There should be a door out.
Yeah, there was the other doors where all the kitchen staff were.
Yeah, when you came in here, what you did was you went through the front door, and then went in towards the kitchen area, where you got into a hallway, and there were several doors, and the one you went through turned out to be the chimerical one that led downstairs.
Yeah.
By Lara Chen, you decide.
We could see if there's a back door, but we'll have to sneak past the kitchen.
Nah, the kitchen was one of the doors to the right. So if we're lucky enough, we don't even need to see them.
That depends on how much of a ruckus it made to have Radigan run around.
Yes.
A lot.
But it worked.
What if I just go have a look through the door if there's something empty way where we can go out through, and I come back, and then we take a decision?
Yeah, scouting ahead is a good idea.
I mean, I can still try and see if I can hide her. It's just not guaranteed.
Well,
Well, if I
No
got
way.
people on top of me, I won't have a problem being stealthy. If I don't want people to see me, they won't see me.
Can you sneak with someone with you?
Yep.
Hmm.
if you're going to make a decision, Jonas, you need to do it quick. I don't think we have that much time.
No, you're right. Let's try and see if we can... Agnes, could you scout ahead and see if there's a back door?
Definitely. So Agnes goes through the canonical door. and-
Maybe bring Ratigan or August.
Yeah, sure. I'll just take this little fella, the now newly mortal. And
Yep.
Put him down somewhere up there. Where
Yeah, that would actually be to our benefit.
he'll be a good distraction.
That's a
Exactly.
good idea. Jonas goes to take August's place guarding the prisoner.
Why don't you tie her up?
I don't have anything to tie her up with.
Well,
There's
that's
tons of
good.
chains.
You coming, August?
Yeah, I'm just hoisting up this fella.
So you guys are heading upstairs, the two of you, to see if you
Yeah.
can find a back entrance that you could use to get away from here.
Yeah.
And I have
And distract them with Hurt Man.
Yeah.
Crimson like a sack of potatoes on my shoulder.
Yep. Well,
Bringing with me a knife. Still.
yep. Not a problem. You get up there. The place is very quiet when you get up back upstairs. Apparently, everyone has been told to evacuate the building. At least nobody is there. You can hear that, even from the kitchen where you could hear people when you went downstairs, it's completely quiet now.
Perfect. I think I'll lie Crimson down just on the inside of the door.
Yep.
To the restroom.
Yep.
And Agnes is looking to see if there's anyone in the actual dining room. Because we can actually walk out.
No,
just
you could
straight
walk out that way, definitely, but there are people out front.
Oh,
there-
yeah, that's right.
How about the back door? Can we find that one?
Yes, if you go through the now empty kitchen, there is a back door.
So we're gonna go through the kitchen and see if there's anyone out in the back.
Yep, you get to the you get that way out. There's I mean, it doesn't smell very nice back there because that's where all the trash cans and so on are located. There's a homeless guy who's drunk off his complete tits, but other than that, nobody's there.
Sweet. I'll run in and get the others.
Cool. I'll see if I can persuade this drunken man to fall asleep.
That's very easy.
Yeah, I'm running in, getting the others.
Cool. I'll keep watch.
So you get back in.
Yeah.
What did you find out?
Everyone deserted the restaurant and standing out in the front. So we got free reins on the back door.
Right.
I just think we have to hurry up.
Okay.
Right. I think Jonas mimics Sunny and takes off his shirt and uses it to tie Alice's hand behind her back.
Oh my. She goes, on our first date too.
Sonny just picks up Cecil.
Sorry, I'm not really into what you're offering.
You don't know what you're missing, boy. And she heads up the stairs with the rest of you, obviously, when she's being led up.
Yeah.
She's not running away or anything.
Actually,
Better not.
yeah, let's go.
So-
Then we attempt to sneak out the back door.
You can.
Is there any way within the system that I can actually hit someone on the head so they're out cold?
Yeah, you can knock someone out. That's
Because I think
just
I'd like to do that to her because she will just be too much of a hassle whenever we meet something.
all right. You can simply use your fists as long as you're using non-lethal damage. If you get her below the requisite amount of health, she's gonna go out like a light.
Yeah, I'll do that then.
Yep, boing.
What are you doing?
Making sure that she does not scream when we come out into the streets. Because normal people will see us kidnapping some kind of a lady. Don't worry,
Right.
she won't die from this, but now she's easier to deal with.
Right. Sorry, I'm probably not thinking as clearly as I could.
Try and get you something to heal you when we get a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that when we get somewhere.
Yep.
I should call Felicia and tell her what's going on.
Ask her where we maybe can take everyone.
Good idea. I'll call her. Beep boop 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 boop.
Yep. She doesn't pick it up. She sends you back a text message saying that she's almost there.
I'll send a text her saying, "Okay, we have a prisoner."
But I think I have a way of dealing with the prisoner and getting her through the city. Just give me a couple of minutes.
Let's wait for Felicia. She's almost here.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. And true enough, while you have a couple of minutes, it doesn't take that long before you can spot her. She's quite easy to see, even at a distance.
Jonas tries to get her attention without shouting.
Yeah, waving her over. Well,
Yes, exactly.
she's on the lookout for you, so that's not a problem. She does spot you.
Let's just say, to any other Fae, we kind of stand out in a crowd.
Yes.
Even if we're not in a crowd.
Hey,
So, what happened? And you caught Bloody Alice.
Yeah,
She
Crimson is
surrendered.
dead.
Wow. I'm very impressed. He's dead?
Crimson never got to.
I think, what's it called? Chimerically dead?
Oh, right, yes. Well, we might not have seen the last of him then, but we will certainly have seen the last of him for a good long while.
We can always dump him in a hospital. No one will go there to find him.
No, but eventually they're going to let him out of the hospital.
Right.
This is true.
With a shitload of penalty.
Yeah, as I said, we're not going to see him for a while.
So we found Cecil. He gestures with his head.
Sunny is still holding her. Slowly healing her up.
Yeah, she's as you said, she's being healed little by little, and she still looks like a mess because it hasn't been that long since you picked her up. But Felicia's face she blanches because even though she's been healed some already, she still looks like a horrible mess. It's like, I think it's a good thing you got here before me. I would have crushed her skull, she says, and looks at Alice.
I almost did.
We figured we could use her for questions. She's clearly been involved with the lady.
Oh.
At least if her draconic fighting style is anything to go by.
That's bad news.
We didn't want her in any of the courts.
No,
You might know somewhere we could hold her that wasn't in the middle of a court.
To be honest with you, I'm almost tempted to take her to the summer court. There's one of her and a lot of us.
Yeah, why don't we do that then?
And she needs to be taken to justice.
Yeah. She might be able to help with, helping out Thomas.
Right. Yeah. Well, you're the senior here, so whatever you say.
All right, let's go to the summer court. And Jonas, you need to get that looked at. You look like you've been through a meat grinder.
No, I was just burned and... Yeah, ow.
Yeah, maybe not a meat grinder, maybe a barbecue.
Yeah. She barbecued all of us.
Yeah, we all look a bit burnt, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have an idea of how to get her through the city.
Let's hear it.
I'm thinking about going out stealing a Christiania bike, stuffing it down there, and letting a couple of you guys sit on top of her, pretending to be drunk, and then we're just partying all the way to the summer court.
That's so good. It's so good. It has to work.
Sounds reasonable.
And I have the leg strength to actually bike it, even with a couple of you sitting up in front.
That's awesome. So I'll go see if I can get us a bike.
Let's
Be right
see.
back.
Yeah, sure.
Well, that shouldn't be hard.
No. Finding a Christiania bike in the middle of Copenhagen is a pretty simple thing. Ladies and gentlemen of the viewing audience, a Christiania bike is a special kind of bicycle that quite a lot of people in Copenhagen use. Especially people who have children will use something like that. It's almost like it's got a carrying pram or something in front of it. So you have quite a bit of cargo capacity in front of this bike. And then
they're huge.
They're quite large.
80 centimeters by a meter by 60 in the upward.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The wildest I saw was it looked like a family dad who had 5 children, all with very good space in the front. He looks like he was dying on that hill.
Yes, yeah. It is there's impressive space in there. So in any case, procuring such a vehicle is a simple thing.
Yeah.
If we should pull up the whole partying thing, I think I will just run to the local market to get a few beers.
Sure.
Good.
You can go inside the restaurant and actually get some of the good stuff for free.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Don't get spotted, though. Remember, they have quite large windows in such places.
They might have alcohol in the kitchen.
They do. They have a couple of crates of beer in the kitchen. You know, clearly that it's being used for cooking purposes. So you get some good beer from there.
Yeah.
Is Cecil actually awake, or is she still out?
She's coming around. She's terrified. She's clutching onto you because she's quickly realized that she's not, hanging on a meat hook anymore, and that things aren't hurting as bad anymore. But she's damaged goods from this.
When he realizes, he's just shh, you're safe now. We got you.
Shut up, Daniel.
She tries to hide her face against you because she doesn't want to face the world right now.
I can understand that. Also, Light, where did that come from?
Yeah. So let's see if our plan works and we can get to the summer court.
Yes, you do. In fact, get the bike, and you get what's her face, Bloody Alice shoved down into the front of it, and somebody else on top of them, and people just driving along, having a beer, having a great time, and only some of you, obviously, the rest of you are still going to have to make it to the summer court on your own, but that's hardly a problem.
Who's on this thing again?
I'll probably be on it, and maybe Cecil might be a good idea because she's still banged up. Then whomever is driving it.
That would be Felicia.
And another one.
Yeah, I'm currently healing the hurt thing up.
Yep.
It takes an hour, basically.
Yeah, it does. It takes an hour.
But when she gets all of the healing from the Well of Life, she'll at least be back to better physical health.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess that means that Jonas and Shasman will be walking or something.
Agnes as well.
And Agnes.
We'll find another way, yes.
Well, Jonas is, as you said yourself, he's hurt.
Yeah,
You're,
he's
you're,
wounded.
you're wounded, so walking as far as that is, after all, is going to be really painful.
Maybe a cab.
Probably a good idea.
Is it worth me lending the sword I picked up in the dreaming to someone who's travelling with Alice in tows? Because, you know...
They have Felicia.
Yes, that's true. Okay, fine.
Okay, so you get in a cab. The cab driver takes one look at Jonas like, oh my goodness, should I get you to the hospital?
Oh no, this is Oh, I'm so sorry. This is for a stage production.
Oh wow, that's very impressive. Well, nice makeup effects. Please don't get any grease paint on my interior of the cab.
Oh, of course. I'm so sorry I frightened you.
No, I'm impressed. He says, and says, so where do you want to go?
Jonas gives him the address.
Yeah, it's the Glyptotek. So yeah, definitely you get there in and pay the man, and the others arrive not that long after.
Mm.
All right.
And what's her face? Felicia basically picks up, whoever is in the a peopleizer. Nice, that's good. Felicia picks up Bloody Alice and just kind of throws her unceremoniously over her shoulder in this sort of let's get this piece of trash inside. And it's after hours by now, so the
that's good.
So you can get in, without any difficulties.
Then we shall get inside.
Yeah, you go in, and when you get to the actual court and open the doors and get in there, the first thing you realize, or the first thing that you are met by, is, I'm tempted to say that it's a wall of noise. It's not quite, but somebody is shouting.
Why is people shouting?
Can we identify who is shouting?
Yes, it's the Duchess.
Oh dear God.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, this is... is it one of those things...
She is a very angry woman right now, and she is giving the Baroness, Elizabeth, an absolute earful.
Oh,
why?
Baroness isn't.
And
She's
Elizabeth
the
is
go-between.
Yes, and Elizabeth is looking pretty much like a deer in the headlights right now. Like she's facing down this maelstrom of anger, and you obviously only catch the last few words of the conversation, but it's pretty clear that the Duchess wants to see the Duke 15 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be mad too.
And that she is apparently not happy about having been kept waiting.
Ooh, yeah, that is the...
That's not gonna help you, Duke.
That's very impolite.
Hopefully we can provide a welcome distraction.
Yeah, with
when you enter and you guys are obviously, several of you're all to some extent hurt, and you're carrying, Sonny is carrying Cecil in his arms, and Felicia is there with the very unconscious form of the senior redcap in all of Copenhagen over her shoulder. Everybody sort of turns and looks towards you, except the Duchess, who takes this momentary distraction to bypass Elizabeth and just go in.
So much for courtly etiquette.
Well, he kind of broke it first.
I suppose when you get to a really high rank, you can just ignore things like that. I mean, let's face it, that's how it works in real life.
They are supposedly of equal rank.
Exactly.
Yeah, so making her wait is kind of break of etiquette.
Well, it is a snub, yeah.
It is a snub, and it's not beyond the summer court to do something like that, just to show the winter court that yes, we might be equal, but some are more equal than others.
Oh, assholes. Now I want to yell at him.
Well, I'm sure the Duchess will put in a good word for you. Maybe several.
Maybe
at high
several.
volume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sonny's just, ooh, happy he's not the Duke.
Elizabeth looks, again, she looks like she's just been through a hurricane, but she does gesture all of you over to, when she sees you, and she regains her dignity immediately. I mean, obviously you can't make a she look undignified or silly, but it's, in this situation, it is quite impressive how she avoided losing her dignity in that situation. So
only through the power of the dreaming.
Only through the power of the dreaming, definitely. But she stands there and she looks at all of you and says, "So, welcome. I'm sure you can tell, my father is otherwise indisposed at this time. Is there anything
He will
I
be
can...
for a while.
Yes, I think so. Is there anything I can do to help?" And then just as she says that, you can hear the shouting beginning again. You can't really make out because there are several doors between you and where the Duchess and the Duke are at this time, so you can't make out what is...
You can hear her voice.
Yes, you can just hear... Exactly, you can just hear the noise level.
Like hearing someone in your building yelling at each other. You can't hear what they're yelling about, you can just hear they're very angry.
Yep.
Well, I think Jonas, after a moment, clears his throat. We have brought a prisoner, among other things.
I can see, and she gestures for, into the room in general. Let me see who comes over. Actually, I think Red Mist comes over. The Sealy Red Cap comes over. And she looks at him and says she needs to be bound securely. And he just, he bows respectfully and says, "As you command, I shall do so immediately." And he hurries off to find some kind of chimerical manacles to bind this red cap with, and something to fixate her head with, because if she can bend down and bite the manacles, then the manacles won't matter.
Oh, is she gonna end up with one of those face masks that Hannibal Lecter had?
Something along those lines, yes.
They got it in a pet store.
And she's, but she comes around after she's been bound and fixated. Then she starts waking up anyway. She just sits there and looks at all of you with. There's this look of absolute disdain on her face, even the part of her face that you can see, and she's but she's not saying anything. She's been quiet.
It's hard to talk with something covering your mouth.
Well, it's a mask that allows her to speak.
Oh, so it's like one of those net muscles you can get for a dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Just shaped for a human face, human-ish face.
Yes. Must be quite an impressive muzzle to cover that many blades.
It's quite a contraption indeed.
Makes you wonder how long they've had that waiting for her.
It was made when she was conceived.
Oh, sorry. Please.
Yeah. No, please carry on.
In any case, you can still hear the shouting from out back. By now, you can hear that the Duke has joined in.
So now they're having a shouting match.
They're actually having a shouting match, and there's no telling who's winning it.
It doesn't matter. They're having a shouting match.
Yep.
Cecil here might also need someone to take care of her. We found her with Alice and Crimson.
Oh. Where is Crimson?
Dead.
Ish.
She puts a hand to her chest and looks slightly shocked. Not offended in any way, but slightly shocked because, again, he's a powerful man. And she's like, That is an impressive feat to accomplish. Well done. Very well done. Though, I mean, obviously by now I'm assuming here that he's dead because you finished him off.
Chimerically speaking, yes.
Well, that at least is good news. I wouldn't want an actual murder on the heads of anyone for obvious reasons, or death in self-defense, as I'm sure it would be in this case.
Either that or beef jerky.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Oh, but she would have been so tasty. Nom 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 nom. It comes
don't tempt me.
From Red Alice.
Sorry, just don't tempt me.
I know, I'm such a temptress. I'm difficult to resist.
And someone will need to catch Sonny now.
Jonas tries putting an arm on his shoulder, or a hand on his shoulder, and saying,
Just grab his tail, that'll stop him.
Jonas is not going to do that.
No, but I think Felicia is going to, if he starts moving forward, she's going to put a very large arm across his chest and just like, nope.
I think actually also Agnes will stand in front of Alice and say, nope, not yet. And sort of, little person pointing at a larger person.
Fine. Oi, sir, if I can't bite her, you can't either.
Damn it. He was just, you could just see the dog had snuck up behind her and opened his jaws, and he was just ready to bite. And just, ruff.
Mm-hmm. It's a problem with chimerical animals. They do know better.
Yes.
I know she's vile, Sonny, but we still need to question her.
I'm vile? Huh! Oh, that's rich! Oh my goodness, coming from a knife-eared shit like you, do you have any idea what your kind is guilty of?
Sadly, I do.
Oh, you're gonna prattle about decency and honor. At least do us all a favor and fall on your own blade first. And the Baroness looks at Red Alice at this point and just says, "Shut up." And you can just see, I'm going to have to make a roll here.
Wow.
Whoa!
Alice goes completely blank-faced. Her eyes just glass over and she just sit there. She bows her head and goes, "Yes, I will be quiet."
Is that out of character? Is that?
Yes, that's Sovereign.
Sovereign as well.
That is Sovereign, yes.
Oh Jesus!
I think, even though Alice is a horrible, horrible person, Sonny's face gets very tight as he looks at it and then looks at her. Sovereign, really?
I'd rather have her under control than spreading vile discontent until my father is ready to actually question her. And this will at least allow us to get answers out of her that are honest.
I know. We've just had no good things with that thing lately.
Well, I prefer to not use it, but it seemed like an appropriate moment.
Oh, Felicia, could you check the bag? See if Radigan is okay.
You open the bag. Ratigan is inside it, having finished off his
victory jerky.
Yeah, his victory jerky. So he hops out of the bag when he's allowed and starts dragging the clothes with him, because clearly, he wants to go somewhere and change into a more two-legged version of himself.
Mm. Well, I'm holding someone, so someone else will have to help him with that.
Agnes goes and pick up the clothes and just, come on, lead the way.
Yep, he does. And he just, he goes to one of the bathrooms where he can change.
She just leaves the clothes there. And
yeah, of course.
To the others.
Yep. Doesn't take long after either. Then he rejoins you in in his two-legged version. But when you get back, Agnes, you can and the rest of you for that matter, you can still hear the shouting, but it seems to be quieting down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly there's quiet from back there. There's silence from back there, and the door opens again, and the Duchess strides out in all her most magnificent glory and furor. She is a very angry woman at this point. An angry she is a frightening thing to look at.
I was about to say, I have this image of them in that courtroom together, and the Duke's side is like burnt to a crisp from his summer rage, and the other side is frozen solid from her winter rage. And just like,
oh yeah, I don't think Jonas can help but flinch slightly.
She does give all of you, as she passes you, she gives all of you a respectful nod. It's not, just a tiny little imperceptible one. She actually acknowledges all of you, and goes.
Sunny returns it.
And goes, I see that you've returned and that you've done very well. I look forward to hearing from you back at the Winter Court later. You have done extremely well, and I'm sure that with what you have now found, we will put an end to this entire sordid affair once and for all.
Thank you. We will make sure to keep you informed when we get back.
Thank you very much. I look forward to it. She leaves.
I give a big flourish bow.
Yes.
Of course you do.
Of course you do.
Jonas, you were very rude. You didn't refer to her by her title.
That's because I don't know how to address a duchess. Is it your grace?
That's your grace.
Your grace. Same as a duke, it's your grace.
Yeah, it's your grace.
But since I can't fail etiquette, would it be all right
Absolutely.
to have said that?
Yes, definitely. You, as you said, you can't fail etiquette anyway, so...
It must be so nice being a she sometimes.
Yeah, just from time to time, yes.
Yeah.
Just sometimes.
All she are some pricks. That's just the way it is.
Okay.
Included.
So...
I think Sunny is silently happy that she wasn't still fuming when she got out, because then he would have been flinching too.
Yeah.
Doesn't take more than a few moments, by the way, after she has left, and then the Duke himself arrives in the room, adjusting his cuffs slightly, his shirt cuffs a little bit, and just shrugging his jacket into place.
Yes.
Regaining dignity.
I mean, can't lose it, but yes. So,
Yeah, but
does he look about as angry as she does, or?
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
I don't think we've ever. I don't think. At least I know Shazman hasn't ever seen him that angry before. So.
Oh no, he's usually always like a picture of calm and like a rock in a turbulent sea. Right now, the man is livid.
Yes,
He is the turbulent sea.
Yes.
Shazman, I think, feels like she is wondering why she hasn't melted yet.
I think Jonas bows instinctively.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Sunny refrains from bowing too deep because he doesn't want to drop season.
He stops when he sees you, and then it seems to calm him down a little. He looks towards the now very pacified form of Red Alice, and then he looks to his daughter and goes, "Is that your doing?" And she shrugs slightly and says she wouldn't be quiet, and she was already working people up into violence. And he nods and goes, "Well, that is what she does, isn't it? We shall have our answers. But the one I really want to know is why she killed, or why her group arranged for the death of Julian. That's The one question I really want answered. So...
I think that has something to do with the one they are working for. The lady.
It's as if the day couldn't get any worse than it already is. He looks at Red Alice and says, "Look up and answer me why. Why did he have to go? He was young, he was ineffectual, he was harmless. If you want to kill she, then of all the creatures in the world, could you have not picked someone who could have least offered you some kind of fight back? Why him?" And Red Alice just looks up, and there's, even though she's been mollified good and proper, there's this look on her face, just of a tiny, tiny little bit of there's just a smidgen of resistance still there. And she just looks at him and goes, because of his grandfather, your best friend, my lord. And I think we'll take a break there.
Hmm.
Yeah, I figured.